Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel, and welcome to Need for Speed Champions. Today, I am going to present to you the 1998 Mercedes-Benz CLK-GTR. Now, this is the first Mercedes MOC that I've ever built. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. The facial designs, the interior design, and the rear end, and all of the fun stuff. But the most favorite part of the car that I love, what I love about this car, is the facial design. And to be honest, I had a really hard time designing that face, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But before we do, if you want to build this car yourself, if you want to give it a go, you can go to my website. I've just opened my website, so you can go to needforspeedchampions.com, where I will be selling instructions for most of my models. And there you can get the CLK instructions there. It's available in silver, light bluish gray, and black. So if you want to give it a go and try it out for yourself, feel free to do that. It helps to support my creation, as well as some new MOCs that I have coming for you guys, which is coming, I don't know, real soon. Anyway, let me get back into the MOC before I confuse myself. So, the hardest part for me to design was pretty much the face of it and the rear. So we're gonna start with the rear first. So in the back, we have brick built exhaust pipes going like right underneath these tile corners here. And I put those tile corners above these pipes because I don't want the pipes to show, like when you tilt it this way, tilt it at a 45-degree angle like this. You don't want the pipes, the exhaust pipes, to show. So I covered those up with the tiles back here. We have a brick built vents back here. It's too bad I can't add the little circle in the center of it. That's the little detail that I wanted to keep as I was building the CLK-GTR, but I decided to give it up because it wasn't gonna fit back here anyways. I would rather have the exhaust covered and have this than to have the circle in the center and not have any exhaust pipes at all. We got a very nice license plate holder at the back here. You can still see that, and the headlights, the way they come into the corner at the back, it just goes down in the slope formation. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to incorporate the slope formation for the transparent tail lights, because I like all of my headlights to be transparent as much as possible. The tail lights itself, the way they're built like this is very satisfying, because it still gives off that Mercedes CLK GTR look. You can pretty much tell just based on the tail light design. So as long as it's recognizable, that's all that matters to me. So I was really happy with the way it turned out. These are overlapped over these mud guards here. They're sitting on jumper plates because I wanted the back to be as wide as possible, so that way it can have this little iconic rear end at the back where it just expands as you go from the center of the car all the way to the back. It just expands back out. So I wanted to keep that feature. Of course, we have a spoiler here, but it's not a 1x5 tile. Unfortunately, it's not available just yet. They might bring it out sometime soon, because they just came out with a couple of new parts. It really helped me get my cars built the way I want them to build. The way I want them built. So I got a couple of other cars to show you guys later on, but for now, I wanted to show you guys this Mercedes here, because this is one of the coolest and most iconic cars out there. Very rare to see, very expensive, and super legendary. The legend of the 90s is what they call it. So, but the rear end it's pretty weak for, I got my hand in the way, I'm sorry. It's pretty weak for anybody that's trying to handle this car. In the Lego form, literally. It's very easy for this to come off, but it's also very easy for parts around it to come off. So you have to, if you want to come pull this off because there's an engine under here. I forgot to tell you there's a detailed engine under here. If you want to pull this off, you can just pull it going straight. Take that off. And here you can see two of these exhaust thingies, because the real car does have like two barrel shaped exhaust tanks. I think they're called something else. I don't think they're called tanks. It's reserved for gas or something, but I will just call them exhaust tanks just for now. But if you want to see the full detail, the full glory of the engine, just take this top off here. When screen came off, just take this top off here, and here you can see a really fancy look of this engine. It's got a Mercedes-Benz logo in the center, as what you would see in the CLK-GTR. See if you guys can see that a little bit. There we go. So this is how detailed this engine is, because I want all of my cars to have like an engine detail to it. So if you guys have a taste for engine details and whatnot, this will probably be your go-to car to build. The interior is not that bad. It's pretty simple. Brighten up my camera here so you can see it better. It's pretty simple and basic, just black seats. I wanted to do the green and red, dark red and dark green feature for the CLK, but there's not a lot of parts available at my fingertips to do that, so I just stick with the black interior. So you have I added some colorful touch to it, like this 1x1 round stud with a hole in the center, just to give off some extra detail into the interior. Now there's usually like the tip end of the seats, like the cushion for the head, and I wasn't able to do that because of this part. But with the new parts, let me show you the new parts here. With these new parts, these two module high parts with the stud on the side and it's round at the back, they really came in handy. And it was the perfect time for these to show up, because I really needed those to put the back seat cushions in the back. But yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces to use. And I just put these at the top here. There's another one right over here. So I just put this here, and then I put this seat cushion right here. And then if you connect the roof back onto the engine here and you face it, okay, so if we connect the roof back, you can see those head coverings just resting right on top of these seats. That is a cool feature, and I was really happy with the way it turned out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the back. But let's move on to the front here. Also in the back there's a little detail here. On the real car, there's like triangular vent shapes at the back, and I was able to capture that and add that as part of the feature for the car. So I'm all about details when it comes to building cars. So if there's vents, headlights and turn signals and whatnot that I need to add as much detail as I can add, I'm pretty sure a lot of builders tried that, and I'm sure that in the grand scheme of things they ended up giving up some details, but that's pretty much the same story for me. So, but it's got triangular shaped vents at the back, so that's a cool detail to have. And of course you got these mirrors on the side here, just resting on the fenders here. And now we come to the complicated part of the car, which is the face. Now, thanks to SFH, who gave me a hint of how his Mercedes CLK face was built, I was able to use these brackets, like the brackets you put on a minifig for like if they're carrying a radio or something. These brackets came in handy, and that's what pretty much brought out the headlights. You have one big round one and a one small one for both sides. And the car, if you notice, the grille is sitting really low, as well as the hood. And this piece here in the center, this is the only piece that I could find that would just line up perfectly with the vents here. going from the front of the car all the way down to the grill of the car. That was the most important part that I had to get right, because I didn't want it to leave it flat. So that's the way it is. It is what it is. There's studs here. It's kind of annoying to have studs at the front, but overall, if you just look at the car itself, you won't even have to worry about the studs, because the studs, it's just gonna be there until they come out with a new part, maybe. Moving on down to the front here, we have a brick built mouth piece of the car. Mouth part, I'm sorry, I said mouthpiece, it's a mouth part. But we have the brick built mouth part at the bottom here, but it's open, like literally open. If I turn it to the side, you can see the opening at the bottom. Because when building this car, I made it I said it was imperative for me to keep that feature and to create and to integrate that feature into the car without actually building it using the parts or using tile parts just to create the mouth, because it's kind of annoying for me to do that in most of my cars. I did that for one of my cars. I think it was a Holden Ute. So I'm also gonna update that Holden Ute, by the way, so be on the lookout for that. But it was kind of annoying for me to do that because it didn't give an authentic mouth for a vehicle. It doesn't feel authentic, so I wanted to do something totally different, like just leave it open, have it open, and don't put any vents. Well, if I do put vents here, it's going to be open like this up here. It's pretty open. You can see right through it. But I didn't want to do brick-built tiles as mouthpieces for the car, for this car in particular, because I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a couple of builders having that feature. I'm not knocking them for using that feature. I believe there's a lot of people that have a taste for that feature, and some people that don't have a taste for it. And I really compliment them trying, because it really looks nice, and I recommend you go check them out. I'll leave their links down in the description below. But for me personally, I didn't find that to be tasteful in all of the cars that I built. So I wanted to leave it open down here as much as I can. And because of that, it looks pretty detailed in my opinion. I didn't want to use a mud guard that had like a wide mud guard. It was used in a Jaguar E-Pace. It's they have one in gray. I'm very certain they have one in gray, but I didn't want to. I'm put this back in the camera here. I didn't want to use that part because it's a little too. It's somehow a little too short to go down here, but at the same time, I want to be able to brick build some features down here, so I don't want to do it like inverts underneath the car. So that's pretty much where we are. This is held up by a hinge piece. So it's simple parts that helped me a lot. So in a lot of my cars, you're gonna see simple parts that is very common, but it's very helpful at the same time, because I want to use as much of those parts as I possibly can, and also add some nice and cool building techniques in them as well. So that's all I have to say about the front. All I have to say for the front is there's like side details right here, like you have one by one slopes going toward the mud guards at the front. And I forgot to change these out. They're supposed to be transparent parts, but I have to order those because I'm out of those right now. So they're supposed to be transparent, but don't worry, I have those already prepared on the instructions. So if you want to get them if you want to get those instructions and try to build this car yourself, it's on my website. I'll link it down in the description below. Overall, it does drive on the ground. It's very low. You can clearly see how low it is, but it still can drive. You can push it. It drives freely for a little bit. So, yeah, that's all I have to show you guys for this car. So, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this showcase, please leave a like and comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of this car, and if you want to give it a go. As I said earlier, there's going to be instructions available on my website, links down in the description below. Consider subscribing to my channel. I will be doing a lot more of those to save me time, because nowadays I don't even have time to do tutorial builds. Plus it costs a whole lot for parts, so nothing's free nowadays, unfortunately. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will be looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one. So see you next time, and have a great day.